Jonty, the start of back-to-back fixtures on the road this weekend. It was a make the trip to Swinton Lions ahead of the trip to Sheffield the week after. But before we look ahead to this weekend, have a quick look back as we always do at our last fixture, which was that home Saturday afternoon against Toulouse. It was there for the taking. Do you get that feeling when you've looked back at it?
Yeah, when we're 18-0 up especially, I thought we had them. I know there was another 40 minutes to go, 45 minutes to go at the time, but even when we come in, when we went 18-6 up, they got a try just on half time, didn't they? And I still felt comfortable because that was off one of our errors, probably the only error we sort of made in that first half, one of them. So I was quite comfortable where we were at. It's just the second half, we were in it. Even with 17 to go, East they'd got back late 18 each, but we got back in the lead by a try from Mezo, and we didn't feel the kick-off and we didn't see the ball for 16 minutes, and they get 3 tries and see the game out. So just little things like that, just, you know what I mean, just filling the ball at this level. If you don't do it correctly, the game could be done.
A similar story, especially starting up with how sort of the game was down there, that you had plenty of opportunities, and you said down there the scoreline probably didn't reflect the game, and while the scoreline in the end up there probably were the better side in it, they took their opportunities. It's one of them that if you give any side in this division, or any side really ball at all, they're going to make you pay, and they were able to do it in the second half.
Good sides do, Jordan, and that's we sometimes a good side and sometimes not, you know what I mean, and we need that consistency to be that. We just talked about it there in video coming up this weekend. We need to be that team that's in games for 70-80 minutes, not just 40 minutes, and that's what we've been like. We've had 6 games there where we've been leading at half time. We've drew 2 and won 1, and the others we've lost after a commanding lead. And the only games that we've won really when we've been behind at half time, Dewsbury at home, you know what I mean. So it's something that we've been talking about quite a lot, and we need that consistency. And going down here against these on Sunday's going to be really hard. They're a hard team to beat. They do the basics really well, and they stay in games, and they take the chances when they can. And they've been to Sheffield, they've been to Toulouse, and they've been to Featherstone and got results. So it's a team that's doing that's no daft side, mate. So we've got to work it out this weekend.
Swinton on Sunday, as you've mentioned, you always sort of relate to them when we do interviews, or you always sort of say, look at Swinton there, you sort of yardstick, because probably similar club to sort of Whitehaven in terms of trying to bring players in, maybe not the geography, but in terms, like you said, it's always sort of their yardstick, and you say, well, Swinton can go and do it, why can't we? Swinton can go and do this. Like I said, they are your yardstick. It's one of them that sometimes difficult. Well, they are a difficult side to beat. It's very rare you'll see a blowout score against Swinton.
Yeah, I've just said it there. They're a team that never give up, and they're always in and around the game. They scored 3 tries later on against Sheffield at the weekend, but they were probably deserved the lead before that, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's going to be tough, mate. They dig in right to the end, that's rugby, innit? You've got to dig in right at the end to stand a chance, so that we need to be a lot better than we have been over the 80 minutes, and hopefully we will be on Sunday. One
player you're definitely not going to have on Sunday is Adine Gebby. You weren't 100% sure on Saturday whether it was his hamstring or whatever, you know, the severity of the damage. Is there any sort of update on that yet?
Yeah, it's his hamstring. We just need an MRI on it and to give us a severity. The doctor said on Saturday it could be a rupture. We don't know if it's a ruptured nut. Even if it isn't, you're talking 6 or 8 weeks. I don't know if it's a barami, but so we do need that MRI to let us know where we're at with Eddie. And obviously we've lost Jammer as well at Halifax. We've lost 3 players in the last 3 weeks, probably at least 8 weekers. Obviously Jammer was at Halifax, will be done for the season. We're waiting for his results, but the first, what our doctor thought was ACL, MCL and meniscus could be damaged in some way, so that isn't good for Jamie. And then Guy Graham's broken his wrist. He's got what they call an avulsion fracture. His ligaments come away from the bone, but the piece of bone's come with it. So that's what we think it is. Again, we're waiting for the CT scan on Guy. So that's 3 of them are like my frontline players, sideline for 6 or 8 weeks at least. So yeah, doing it tough that way, aren't we?
You certainly are. You hopefully be able to welcome Owen McCarran and Jay Carter back following them failing their hair years during and after the Featherstone game. A couple of change round as well in the loanees. We said goodbye to AJ Wallace, and Hull KR have sent him to Doncaster for the rest of the season, but we've been able to extend the stay of Lenny Ellis for the next 2 weeks, extend the stay of Noah High for the rest of the season from Warrington. You've been able to fetch in the young lad as well on the wing.
Yeah, Neil Chimamba is a big thing. He's 6'6", something like that. And when OKR took AJ back of us at the weekend, after the weekend, obviously the geography of the situation, they didn't want Lenny coming on his own, and they offered us Neil, and with Gebby's hamstring being like it is, and I jumped at the chance. Anybody's a good body for me at the moment, and we'll definitely he'll be playing at the weekend, put it that way. So it's good to have him.
And with the signing deadline coming up, I know yourself and Ashley are always in for players. Is the scope for trying to bring an extra body or two in while that deadline opens, which I think it closes on the 2nd of August, is it?
Yeah, it's 2nd, 3rd, 4th of August, something like that. Yeah, there's potential to hopefully fetch another middle in. Just not been notified about it today actually, but that's still in the infancy, so we'll see what comes of that. But other than what we've got, mate, because you can only play 5 loans anyhow, even though we've only got 17 and 18, 4 of them at the minute are loans. So we can have as many in your squad, but it's your actual match day squad, you can only have 5. So even if we get this new lad in, we maybe need him to play in that 13 and the 5 loans gives us 18 for match days, doesn't it? So yeah, hopefully we get him across the line.
And like you said, finally, obviously last word on Swinton and going into this weekend, it's always tough. We see him from the reverse fixture, which was back in round 1. That feels years ago now, round 1 with what's gone on this season, but it shows they are a tight-knit team, and it shows you're going to have to be at your best, because you had to be at your best, especially in that first game, to get the result.
Yeah. They're going through a bit of adversity themselves off the field, aren't they? And I'm not going to go into that, but that gels teams. And that's proved that with how they're playing. You know what I mean? I don't think they had any lone players last week, and they didn't need them because they're doing a job on Sheffield. So that's obviously made them a tighter group. What's going on? And at the weekend, to me, it's one of them games where whoever makes the least errors and takes the chances, they'll probably come off that field the winner.